quiet seaside town, an evil laid to rest centuries ago, has risen. An abandoned fortress deep in the swamp holds a secret that could save the village or destroy it. Now, a band of adventurers sets out to dig up the wounds of the past and bring the light of day to the roots of ruin. This is Tabletop Gold.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Tabletop Gold, episode 127. My name is Lars Casteen, and you're joining us for another night of, or another podcast even. We're recording it in a night. You could be enjoying it at any time you want to, but it's a tabletop role-playing game show. We play Pathfinder 2nd Edition. We're playing the Abomination Vault's Adventure Path. Our show is called The Roots of Ruin. You get the deal. I'm joined today by four wonderful people. Let's meet them in no particular order, starting off with Robin Lange.
Hello. Good that time.
Good that time. Zoe Chernicoff.
Good that time, everyone.
Good that time, everyone. David the Tin Man Chernicoff.
Good that time.
Good that time. And joining us without any video from a undisclosed location, Armet Humphreys.
Good that time, y'all.
Yeah, Armet, we've had a series of sort of exciting technical misadventures on the way to being able to record tonight. Two of us are calling into this tethered to a cell phone signal, which is new. That's fun. It seems like it's working pretty well. Do we feel good? Are we feeling positive, optimistic, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely more so than I was on the hotel Wi-Fi.
Yeah. It turns out that when you pay for a hotel room, they don't give you the thing that you want from them.
Yeah, they claimed it was high speed. I was getting about 5 megabytes a minute, I think, or whatever.
A minute? That seems pretty good. Is that bad? That's probably pretty bad. These days, I remember back in the day, I would get a megabyte in 10 minutes. And it felt like a miracle on a 28.8 kbps modem. And by me, I mean, of course, it was my father that experienced those speeds. I'm very young. The thing that I want to talk about today before we get into our game.
You don't want to get into a whole discussion now on like AOL online?
No, I don't want to do that.
Oh, man. My first AOL name was Cthulhu35.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I was on a
Nerd.
university internet before the AOL people got online. So there was a moment when it was like, okay, the internet just got ruined by all these idiots with AOL accounts. Like it was like, oh no, we've democratized access to the internet and now everything sucks. Was like, that was the vibe online in like 1993. Basically.
And then it swung to it's been democratized, everything's great. And then it swung right on back.
Yeah. The pendulum swings. Everybody, you can find a reason to be unhappy about things happening on the internet, basically in any age. And I think that we're living proof of that on this very podcast. So this is something I want to talk about. Speaking of the internet, every once in a while I come up with an opinion that I'm like, oh, I think this is something that I believe that will make other people upset. And I want to share one of those opinions.
Those are called hot takes on what has become of the internet?
Yeah, I guess this is a hot take, and it's related to what's become the internet. But here's the take, if you're ready for it.
We need a special Sting intro for the Lars' hot takes.
Lars' hot take.
Hot takes with Lars!
A provocative thing that Lars thinks he might kind of
crackling
believe.
fire in the background, something.
I like it.
Here's the take. Email as a mode of communication has become so degraded with everybody marketing on email. I get so much spam through email. My email inbox is a nightmare. It's a disaster. Email is no longer on the list of ways of communicating with people where you can reasonably expect a response from anybody. If you send an email to somebody and they don't respond to you, that is your fault for not getting them through a means of communication that is still reliable. That is my take.
Hard disagree.
I sort of agree with it.
And I work in a workplace where we need to email. We email all the time. I don't have everyone's phone number. I email. We
Well,
don't have a Slack. It's a school.
then I think that you are probably weeks away from agreeing with me. You're going to find, I think, in the very near
I
future,
email my husband.
and that's going to stop working. Eventually, your husband, the husband that you email is going to drift away from you. I haven't answered.
I mean, I do also Slack him, and the emails tend to be forwards of other emails.
See, you're doing the work of degrading the quality of email as a means of communication. You sometimes Slack because Slack is a way of getting more immediate access to him.
One of these days, all my friends will join me in my Google Wave.
Future potential sponsor, Google Wave.
Google Wave. We're
Yeah.
bringing it back, baby.
Yeah, come on, undeprecate that product, Google. I can't even be mad because I'm just sad.
Because you think I'm onto something? You think I'm
Disappointed.
right?
You're probably right, and I am sad because I like email. Email gets me. I get email. I find the profusion of messaging apps to be really hard to handle.
I agree.
I mean, there are
Yeah.
like people in my life who explicitly prefer all of the following for various different things. Like regular SMS, WhatsApp, Signal.
I don't even know what that is. That's a drug deal kind of deal thing.
That's how
Yeah.
it started, but now it's a thing that workplaces use because it's more secure than Slack. My life is
Slack?
80% on Signal, and
Oh,
it's
really?
not a place that you should communicate about workplace things
Group
because it's
me.
not. It's just chats. It's just texts, but it's
Instagram DMs, like
Oh, that's the worst.
Facebook Messenger. Like there's just it's all and then the number of things that are it's like you have a kid who's school aged, and so their school
my
uses
God.
two different ones, but the piano lesson uses one that's purpose built for piano lessons, and the soccer one uses one that's purpose built for team sports.
The
And you're
school
just-
thing is why I really I am passionate about sticking to email when I can, because I don't want to have to now manage a whole nother app to communicate with parents. Just
Well,
give me bloody email.
We have to manage there's actually 3 now.
Are you counting the new artwork depository one? Or
Forgive me.
4.
4. And so I think I cling to email in part because it's rendered in prose, and like that's how my head works and how I want things to work. It
Yeah.
also feels like scrolling threads of conversation. It's very easy to lose stuff, and they tend not to be super searchable. So like if you have anything that's like any sort of a not like a near term, hey, let's chat until we figure this out,
Yeah.
but like a durable thought
Yeah.
is like you put it into one of these things and it's lost forever. Like we're on Discord now, and we're chatting with people on Discord, and we send Discord message, but like that's slightly better because it's the search is really good. So I don't know, having one place where it all filters to, and then everything is like referenceable
Yeah.
later feels absolutely essential to me. And I'm sure that you're right. I mean, I already know I sound like fucking Abe Simpson even
You and I
saying
are old
this.
curmudgeons. It's fine.
Yeah. So it's like, so I'm not even mad. It's like, I know Lars is right, and I'm just bummed out. It's just going to make my life way harder to administer.
Well, I think I didn't think about it from the other side, that like part of it is that email has gotten terrible, which I think is true. I think like the quality
Yes.
of my email has gone way, 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 way down.
Email jumped the shark in like 2011. I just still need it, you know?
Yeah. But I think that the thing that I didn't understand, which David, I feel like you're saying, is there's so much competition, and everybody has their own little preference for their own little bespoke, stupid
Yes.
little thing that they use that sucks.
Yes. I mean, it's a metaphor for the entire attention economy, which we really shouldn't get me started on that.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
can't. We won't have the attention span for it.
Yeah, so I guess that ultimately this topic was less provocative and more just sort of sad. So
Yeah. But I don't know. You're also hearing from a guy who who feels like video games have been impossible to play since N64. So some of this is just like what you got used to when you were the right age for it, you know, and kids these days.
and
all
Nintendo
that
64 is basically unplayable today, just like email is. So, you know, that all fits.
Yeah. I'm ready to what's that thing where retire?
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And always except one. Just the one.
The one that earns money.
The one really important one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. Hearing you mention Instagram, I'm going to try to end this on a lighter note. Hearing you mention Instagram Messenger, that's like a platform that I never use for anything that I have completely forgotten like exists. Like, I guess that's the same thing as Facebook messaging. I opened that thing up the other day and I realized that my brother has been having a conversation with me for 9 months on that app without
Oh my
me
gosh.
knowing. And he just sends me like clips of like, hey, here's Kraftwerk on German television in 1980. Check it out. And I just like, I have just ghosted him aggressively because
But
it's
he's
just
still
like,
going.
He's still going.
undeterred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should
That's
probably
amazing.
do a good job and communicate with him and be a good brother. I guess is maybe ultimately the
But
moral
like,
of the
if you're
story.
not using the messaging app on Instagram, then what else are you doing when you're going to the bathroom if you're not sending Instagram reels to your significant other from the John?
I'm catching Pokemans is what I'm doing.
Pokemans.
All of these are being competed with by a Lotad in this bathroom with me.
You need to accept my gift and send me more gifts.
I don't know how to do that. I need to go to the bathroom more.
It sounds like the equivalent
Drink
or like
more
the
water.
reciprocal for you, Lars, of your brother sending you Instagram DMs that you never get is you talking about him here on the show.
Yeah. He can chalk this. This is like worth 9 months of communication, right? Basically.
Exactly. He better be listening though.
He's
Not
not.
to work.
Let's move on. You know who is listening? All of our wonderful listeners who leave nice reviews for us on the podcast apps of their choice, including this review left on the most valuable, still sort of hanging on by a thread of all of the podcast apps. That's Apple Podcasts, everybody. The Mad Juggler left this review for us. And they say many, many, many nice things. They specifically call out that the show's got this healthy following on Discord with a huge group of like-minded nerds who form a great community. And I always appreciate it when the community gets called out like that. So thank you, the Mad Juggler, for that.
Thank you for reviewing the show.
Thank you for reviewing the
Yes.
show.
Thanks,
we are
babe.
very
Thank you.
we are very grateful.
I want to make a little comment before we get into the game. Last week, as of the time that this aired, this is going to air on November 20th, 2023. The Pathfinder 2nd Edition remaster books, the Player Core and the GM Core, have been released last week. And I just want to address that to sort of talk about what our goals for that are. We don't have those books yet. The system that we're using to play our game doesn't have those new rules supported yet. And it's going to be our goal to try to find like a seamless way to upgrade the rules so that like player options that we have in our game are as current as they can be. We're not going to change the story. There are some lore changes that are coming down in that remaster. We're not going to use those to change the lore of the world at all because that would make our story that we're telling, I think, relatively incomprehensible.
Astronomy lore has been too helpful. We can't give it up now.
They're
Yeah.
nerfing astronomy lore aggressively in the remaster. They're
Ouch.
Overdue.
About
but welcome.
time.
In
Yeah.
the wound.
But I want you to know that we're doing what we can do. I just like subscribed to the Pathfinder rulebook so that I'll get the PDF like early for the remaster books. Like we're all doing what we can do to try to get that stuff up to date, but just keep listening to the show. We'll give you more updates as we have like a timeline, as we know what it is we're going to do, because we're going to keep playing the game with the newest versions of the rules, but there's going to be a little bit of a lag on there. So if you're looking for us to start saying off guard instead of flat-footed, you're going to have to wait a few more weeks. And then you're going to have to wait a little bit longer than that, because I don't know how I'm going to get that particular phrase out of my brain, because it is like so deep in there. David agreeing silently.
Yeah. No, I can't do vocab updates.
Yeah.
My firmware is unavailable for, as I think I've proven in our email chat.
Yeah, we're still using email.
I am
Lars,
stuck
did
in
you
my
say
ways.
this is coming out November? Like the today of tomorrow is November 20th?
The today of tomorrow is November 20th.
So
yeah.
we went through this whole episode and didn't talk about Thanksgiving foods.
Yeah, we didn't. We'll have to I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm having trouble, guys. We'll talk about Thanksgiving foods
People
next
know
week.
how we feel
After
about
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, after
foods.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We'll talk about
It'll
Thanksgiving
be a
leftovers.
leftovers edition.
We'll do
Yeah.
a leftovers talk.
Oh, I
next
love
time.
it. Yeah.
Okay, and with that, let's get into it. Let's play our game. you're back on the 7th floor of the Abomination vaults. You've returned to the prison seemingly maintained by devils, and a patrol of flesh-warped creatures wearing military regalia has run into you just as you've entered their territory. These creatures, 2 Mulvintoks, hypermuscular with hard, glassy bodies, and 2 Dreshkins, spider-like with electrified needles dripping off of them, have taken you by surprise with their canny teamwork and unrelenting tactics. A Mulvintok fell, exploding into a wave of negative energy that nearly knocked Mag unconscious, and now one of the Dreshkins has twisted its biomechanical body into a cannon, blasting a torrent of metal and electricity in an area that includes a Mag who is struggling to stay on her feet.
Yeah, right. How many hit points do I have left?
Yeah, how many hit points do you have left, David, as we jump into it?
Let's see.
Let's take a look.
That is... Could I roll a d20 for him instead of... No? Okay, well, I'll have to go with this.
What?
Because I only have 6 left.
Oh,
so I'm
okay.
thinking I might
and
be
you
able
start
to...
off with a lot.
Yeah, that's down from my max of 127, plus however many there are for rage these days, because that gives you temporary hit points, which is another dozen or so.
You're down a bunch.
You've taken a lot of hits.
A lot of hits.
Woof.
48 points of those came off of just that exploding Mulvintok. These creatures, these big, bulky, flesh-warped or Defons, when they blow up, it's a problem. Like, this is not an insignificant thing that happens when they explode. So I mentioned this last time when we dropped off for the week, but this Dreshkin has just reshaped itself, opened its mouth, and the barrel of a minigun has just emerged from the front of it. And it is going to blast at Isthin and Mag with this wide cone of electrified needles. So what do you say I tell you how much damage is coming at you for that? We're looking at 12 points of damage, and this is depending on a basic reflex save, so I need both Mag and Isthin to make this reflex save to see how much of that damage is going to get through.
So, Lars, before we resolve this, I would like to use a hero point card that I've had my little eye on.
A hero point card? What is it? Who sent it in, and where are they from?
It was submitted by Jed from Portland, Oregon.
Whoop, whoop.
Jed, thank you. The card name is Unfailing Champion. You declare you're using this card either before or after you make an attack roll, skill check, or saving throw.
So this is before a saving throw, so that applies.
Yep. I guess I could wait until after and see if I need it. Huh.
Well,
that's interesting.
Let's read the rest of the card. Let's see what.
Thanks, Jed. The effect: declaring before the roll grants a +4 bonus. Declaring after the roll grants a +2. There's a carve out. It can't be used for flat checks, but I can use it for this saving throw.
Yep.
And Jed notes in the submission, this has become the most popular hero point usage in our current run of this same adventure path, Abomination. So if it's helping, if it's becoming popular with y'all, Jed, let's see how popular it's going to become with us. I will declare it before to take the +4 instead of the +2.
Okay, this is exciting. So we're going to roll that reflex save and we're going to add a 4 to it. Thank you so much, Jed. Let's see.
Thank you,
Let's
Jed.
see if Jed is the difference maker, the D maker, as I call it.
Jed.
So that is going to be a 28 for Mag, including that +4 bonus.
Okay. Armet, what did you roll for Isthin on that?
I got a 5 on the die for a 19. So I'm guessing it didn't go great, but he still has most of his hit points, so he'll probably be okay.
Right, stakes are lower.
So that's a
for Isthin.
failure for
Exactly.
Isthin. So Isthin's going to take the full 12 points of damage.
Ow.
So Mag needs to get a critical success in order to take no damage here. So is a 28 a critical success? No. That would have been a 31. Mag is also frightened at this time, so I was concerned that maybe that fear would be the difference maker. It wasn't. So that unfortunately means that Mag is going to drop down to 0 hit points and is now unconscious and dying 1. Which means that Mag gets moved on the initiative track before the Dreshkin that knocked her over. I think that's where she was anyway, so that's fine. Okay, so all of you see Mag get pelted by, dodge out of the way, miss a lot of these electrified needles, but get pelted by just enough that she loses consciousness, falls to the ground, releasing the Earthbreaker as she does.
Right, I imagine some like sparks of electric discharge moving between her and the metallic parts of the weapon, the head of the weapon and the kind of hardware and stuff going through the handle and the haft.
Yeah, maybe Mag dodges out of the way, but the Earthbreaker catches it and it arcs over to her and knocks her down. That's all 3 actions from the Dreshkin. And that means it is now Ao's turn. Ao in this combat has had a little bit of some bad luck. You got a fumble pretty early on that stupefied you for a second. Ao's been struggling to find her footing in this combat. Let's see how she does now. Zoe, what do you think?
Robin, stepping out of this game, are you planning to soothe Mag?
Yes.
Okay, so I will leave that to you. And
because you're going to do more damage than I could.
Okay. And these 2 friends who are still alive, Lars, are...
Yeah.
Oh, no, there's just one who's still alive?
There's
one's
another
down
one in the hall.
There's a Dreshkin that's alive, and then the Mulventalk that is sort of like the sergeant for this creature ran far to the east to get out of the range of this blast of needles. So there are 2 enemy combatants still up. This Dreshkin right in front of you and a Mulventalk that's around the corner. I'm not sure you can see them from here.
Right.
That was way too smart of the Mulventalk.
It may be going towards the Gug. We don't know what it's up to. But basically the Dreshkin is who I have eyes on, and it is frightened at the moment, yes?
Yes, it is still under the effect of Trill's Dirge of Doom until the end of the next round.
Okay. Ao sees Mag fall. I think, I don't know, wasn't taking this fight super seriously or sort of thought they had it, but I think that triggers something in her. So Ao locks eyes with this Dreshkin that just
insult it to death, babe.
Well, I'm gonna do you one better than that, and just begins sort of mumbling under her breath. I can't believe you fucking knocked Mag out, and it's not escalating in the way you might expect biting words would, because what Ao is doing to it is causing it to feel that all the things it just ejected, these needles, these things, are now crawling all over its own face and stabbing its body, and she is trying to cast Teeth to Terror on it.
Okay.
And then I believe it depends on your will save.
Yikes! That is a 1 on the die, a critical failure.
Teeth.
So what happens?
If you spit a lot out.
Yeah. So that it starts screaming as the needles that are like dripping out of its mouth as it goes and retracts this thing back in. It starts seeing those needles as its teeth stabbing itself, and it starts screaming as what happens to it.
I mean, first of all, that's what you call a bite attack.
That is what you call it.
I hate to say it, but
crazy spell.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Every other time I've tried to do it, it's failed.
It's so Ao.
It is. Shout out to Kevin, who gets another props for pointing that one out in the first place. But okay.
All right, friend of the show.
You are going to take 2d4 mental damage in a moment.
Okay.
You will be taking 1d4 persistent mental damage, and you are also frightened 3.
Wow.
Whoa.
Nice.
Okay. So the thing that is really awful there is the frightened. Frightened 3 is not a good time.
Yeah, that's rough. awesome for us.
Okay, so I'm going to take the 1d4 mental damage. How much damage did you roll on the damage that you were attacked with?
2d4 was 6 points of damage.
Okay, so that means that this Dreshkin is basically, after having finished blasting Mag and knocking her down and Isthin taking this bad hit, it just starts screaming and clawing at its mouth to everybody else. Ao knows what it is that's happening, but to everybody else, this is just a full-on freak out now. I also take a -1 circumstance penalty to strikes with my jaws or teeth, which I'll call Needle's teeth since that's what Zoe said. So that's also a nice little detail here on this spell. A terrifying spell. Super spooky. A nightmare of a spell.
A nightmare of a spell.
Sounds like a bad time.
Bad time. I believe Ao has one more action.
I think Ao is having sort of dealt with that creature, nervous about what the Mulventalk is doing down the hallway, and so she is gonna charge up around. She's basically in the middle of the hallway now, so she can still reach the Dreshkin, but she's now closer to the Mulventalk and can see what it's up to.
Okay. So Ao fires off the spell. The Dreshkin screams and she runs closer to the Mulventalk. It is now Trill's turn. Trill has been having trouble in this combat. If I had to sum it up, it's basically she has a gap between the knowledge that she has and the knowledge that she needs. You know, like electricity isn't working. Mental stuff is iffy. Fear stuff is iffy. Necromancy, no go. Trill has had trouble finding the right key for this particular lock. Let's see how she does right now.
Well, you know what? Trill knows exactly what she's going to do right now. And as a matter of fact, holding it up to the camera right now, there was a note I wrote to myself before at the end of our last session. David, what does that note say?
It says, next recording, soothe Mag. And it's soothing David to read it.
So, yeah, and Mag happens to be exactly 30 feet away from Trill, so Trill doesn't even need to move. Trill, seeing Mag go down, in a fit of rage.
Yeah, rage, Trill, rage.
Yeah, her own rage at the Dreshkin and the Mulventalk, she just, with her lute in her hand, just screams out, "Don't you dare!" And she somehow then transitions from that into soothing music.
It's a tough pivot. It's a tough transition.
It's a tough transition, but you know what? She does it.
Yeah. You go see a Cher, you see a Taylor Swift doing that sort of transition. You're gonna see a costume change. Trill, of course, doesn't have that luxury.
Well, just you wait, Lars.
Okay, I'm waiting.
And so Trill's going to cast a level 4 Soothe on Mag.
Huge.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's going to be 37 points of healing.
Oh, yeah,
Wow.
that's medicine.
That was a good roll.
That's medicine.
Yeah. Oh, 37's plenty.
It's more than 6.
Thank you, Trill.
So what that means is that Mag is now up to 37 hit points, is no longer unconscious and is no longer dying, but is wounded 1.
And is prone still.
Wounded,
and is prone still and is
terrified.
holding on to nothing.
Okay. And after Trill sees Mag kind of take that big breath in, sees her friends seem to come back into herself, Trill reaches up into her wig of holding.
Wig of holding!
And pulls out a vial.
Oh. How vile.
I'm so excited to have this wig.
Okay.
Trill's really wigging out.
So Trill,
She is?
Trill reaches into her wig after soothing Mag and produces a vial of some sort. Who knows what it is? We'll find out later. We then move to the top of round 4.
That was such a good turn. Lars made a pun.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
And it didn't even make any sense. So, because it wasn't at all the thing that I said it was. Okay, we're at the top of round 4, and it's Isthin's turn. Isthin has gotten pretty serious as this combat has stretched on. He's acting relatively tactically. I don't want to put words in your mouth, Armet, but you do certainly see this Dreshkin 10 feet to your west having a full-on freak out. What is Istin going to do?
I'm worried about the Mulven talk, but I think, Istin is wise enough to know that big fear debuff from Ao is going to be his friend in a big way. So I think Istin is going to do the thing that Istin do, and he is going to spell strike at the Dreshkin, and he's going to use Produce Flame. Is a 20 on the die for a 36 going to hit?
It is.
It misses, unfortunately.
You gotta draw. Nice.
You guys can't see it, but I'm dancing.
Nice.
Woo!
Nice.
Okay, Armet, you're gonna hate this.
Yeah.
This is a garbage crit card called Crushed Intestines. Normal damage. Crit effect. The target is wounded 2 and enfeebled 2 until it is no longer wounded. Wounded is basically a nonsensical condition on an NPC. I would like to remind you that you can, if you'd like to, spend a hero point to eliminate the effects of that crit card according to our house rule, and instead just take your double damage. What do you think?
I'm going to use that hero point.
Okay. Maybe we should get rid of the crit deck. Okay, so what does that mean, Armet? What happens with your attack?
So the Produce Flame lights up the descending end of the staff, and it cracks heavily into the Dreshkin, crumpling some of its steel spider legs, and blasts out to do 40 bludgeoning damage. And then do I double this?
You
or
do.
Is it already?
You do double the spell damage.
That is, and 24 points of fire damage as the burst of flame incinerates the Dreshkin.
And that is enough to take the
Nice.
Dreshkin down from basically full hit points to 0 as the Dreshkin is immolated and is now no longer in the fight. Istin, in one hit, knocks the Dreshkin from basically full to down. And if that hadn't worked, the 4d4 persistent damage that you were doing, what just happened was a nightmare, basically.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
What
Magus
about my
crits
persistent
are-
mental damage, though? I'm a little sad I won't be able to keep doing
Yeah,
that.
there's a lot of persistent damage that's just not going to happen, unfortunately. And you have Armat to blame for that, Zoe.
Well,
I'm really sorry, Zoe.
you think it's a team game, and then...
Yeah, you think? Yeah, thanks, Armat.
Ugh, I'm the worst. Istin is going to then turn and stride down the hallway. Not really even just charging, just striding with his eyes locked on the Mulventalk. And he'll stop about 10 feet away. And that's his turn.
Okay.
Armat, while Istin is walking down the hall that way, is it plausible that what the Mulventalk sees is him, walking in slow motion with the Dreshkin exploding behind him?
God, I hope so.
I do have vibes of Mission Impossible 2, Tom Cruise stepping past a doorway with a dove flying through sort of situation.
I love me some John Woo.
I was picturing the Beyonce, is it the actual Lemonade video where she's walking through town and everything's blowing up behind her, but it's just Dreshkins instead of flames?
She's just walking through
Isn't she hitting
Dreshkin
things
Town.
with a bat and that?
Istin does give those Beyonce vibes.
He does. He's the most Beyonce
I
of
think
any
that's
of
the
us.
best compliment he's ever gotten.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, he's about to get some more compliments because it is now the turn of the Mulventalk, standing only 10 feet away. So here's the situation. The Mulventalk sees Istin approaching and quickly whips the Tomchal Chakram, this disc, at Istin. Chimney criminy with a 1 on the die.
Love to hear it.
I just drew a 9 of clubs, which means that something below the Mulventalk made it stupefied. So it attempts to swing the Tomchal Chakram forward, and in stepping forward with its leading foot, it steps on a bit of uneven rock that flies up in the air and pelts it in the head, making it stupefied 1 for a time. And of course, the attack misses Istin. The Tomchal Chakram flies wide. And so the Mulventalk is going to change tactics by attempting to run past Ao to then run on the far side of Trill. So this Malvantalk throws the disc and then chunk, sprints behind Trill, and Trill sees this glassy creature.
Question.
Yes.
Did it just pass by me?
It did.
It touched me. So
It
you
didn't
could say
touch you. It walked right by you.
It was within
Yes.
my reach, and it used an action to do anything at all.
It did. It got within your reach, and then it used an action to move.
All right, so I'm going to use a hero point card
Oh
then,
my
I think.
Yes! Oh, fabulous.
This is from
This
Susan
is a
for
nightmare is what this is.
from Hawaii. Does that trigger my attack of opportunity? Frankly, guys, I've never learned attack of opportunity. I know some of us understand it, some of us don't. It's not my thing. So I'm pleased to get a chance.
It's not for me. It's not my thing.
It's just not something I've had to pay attention to. But it is triggered by a creature within my reach using an action to do anything at all, which has
Yeah.
happened.
Uh-huh.
And so the effect is, well, does it, Lars? I can use my reaction to strike the target with an attack of opportunity, regardless of the action performed. Great. That's great, right?
Wow, so that one doesn't even specify that you need to have attack of
doesn't
I guess
opportunity in order to use the
No.
card.
All right, Susan
Wow,
from
that's
Hawaii.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Susan.
Great work.
Now, am I right that attack of opportunity is just one action, so I can't do a spell?
Correct.
It's a reaction.
The reaction.
Yeah.
Yes.
I believe Ao had her bow out because I was firing the bow before. Yes,
Yeah.
so we feel like I
Yes.
could fire an arrow.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we're already in like the nonsense world of hero point cards. So yeah, you're
Yeah.
holding a weapon. You use this hero point card. You can shoot with chompers.
It's
no
that
problem.
or Foxfire. I feel like are my two. You feel good about chomper stuff?
I'm okay with chompers.
All right.
It's fine.
So Ao, having had her bow trained on this thing, sort of gets surprised and watches it try and belt past her, and fires off a quick arrow at it as it runs over towards Trill.
Nice.
I can't believe that happened.
That's awesome.
Don't you get it?
You can't believe it, Lars.
I can't. I choose not to believe it.
And that is a 28 to
Yeah,
hit.
that hits. Yeah.
That's great.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That is
Way
a
to go,
10
Ao.
10 damage.
Okay, 10 damage as this badly injured Malvantalk grunts, deeply surprised about this arrow suddenly clanging off of its glassy leg, and it starts menacing Trill as it lands where it was trying to get to. I'm sorry, I'm so thrown off. Okay. So Trill, you see this bulking creature behind you just like as it realizes that it is the last of its friends on the field, and it is looking to do as much damage as it possibly can. It is now Mag's turn. Mag, conscious, prone, frightened, holding nothing, wounded, about 25 feet, 30 feet away from the Malvantalk. What is Mag going to do?
Yeah, the camera zooms in on Mag's face as she's lying on the ground, and her eyes shoot open, and she, while looking at the camera, says, "You're probably wondering how I got here." Wow, that's like a 120 episode callback. That's got to be some kind of a record. All right, so Mag is going to start by.
Can I throw
I
one more
guess I
thing
need
at
an
you? I
action.
think that Mag is not raging because she fell unconscious.
Interesting. Well, it's an action to stand. It's an action to pick up the hammer.
Yeah, Mag is no
Right.
longer raging. Correct.
And Mag is no longer raging. So I think especially with this thing at a distance, Mag is going to stand, pick up the Earthbreaker, and then with my third action, I will rage.
David, I've got bad news for you. There is a rule on rage that says you can't rage again within a minute once you lose the rage.
With my third action, I will retch for no reason. No.
Yeah, I get that feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I would like to, with my third action, I want to try and demoralize this thing.
Okay.
So I guess that would look like Mag having been, revivified by the spell. She stands up, she grabs her hammer in two hands, and I guess maybe she springs to her feet in a way that is particularly, suggests that she's not yet begun to fight. And I guess she's not raging. So what would that sound like? It would sound something like,
Chilling.
You rolled an acrobatics check.
I did. That was not intentional.
Congratulations, Lars. You passed the test.
Okay. So I've seen you've played acrobatics check demoralize before.
I don't know why it's not letting me.
It's probably not letting you because they're out of range, but I'm going to fudge the rule to make this a thing that you can do.
Oh, okay.
Aw.
All right. That is a 22 to intimidate. I guess that doesn't factor in that the target's frightened. So does that help?
No, unfortunately,
He's not frightened.
you yell at the Mulventalk. The Mulventalk is stupefied, which does make it easier to intimidate, but again, this Mulventalk is immune to fear effects. So,
Right, I should have said that. I knew that.
All right.
All right. Well, let's just
Damn
keep
it.
burning actions on that pyre.
Okay.
That's why you were going to fudge it, Lars, because you knew it wouldn't work.
So Mag gets up, grabs her weapon, and starts screaming to little effect. And it is now once more Ao's turn.
How time flies. Ao just quietly under her breath, she's, turned on her heels to watch this thing run towards Trill. Goes, "Not today, motherfucker." And fires off 2 arrows at it.
Okay.
First one is an 18.
That misses. The arrow flies over the Mulventalk's head.
And the next one is a 19.
That also misses.
Trying to think if there's anything interesting I can do here. Frustrated, she's like, "Istin, get it again!" And fires another arrow to try and help him. So she's aiding Istin,
Okay.
frustrated at her own failure.
Okay, so we're getting an attack roll to aid Istin's next attack roll as an aid. So
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Ao, two quick shots and then prepares to shoot a third time to help Istin. And with that, it's now Trill's turn. Trill feels the breath of this Mulventalk on her neck as it looms above her. What is Trill going to do?
Do we remember if the Mulventalk has an attack of opportunity?
You have not seen it do an attack of opportunity.
That's just me.
People have been moving around
This
it,
time.
so I think it's okay. Okay.
The only one.
So, Trill's gonna first. If I want to throw something, the range is generally 20 feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if I were at 25, it would be a slight penalty.
Yes.
How much is the penalty?
2.
Okay, so Trill runs straight back 25 feet, so she's next to Mag. Turns back around at the Mulventalk, and she hurls the frost vial that's in her hand at the Mulventalk.
So she drew a frost vial from the wig.
Yes, so she had drawn a which was it? It was my inventory, a moderate frost vial.
Okay.
And so, because that also, the moderate frost vial, I think, gives a +2 bonus.
Sure.
So that cancels out the penalty. Or no, it's a +1 item bonus to attack rolls? Oh, it was +2. Oh, well.
We'll see what happens.
Either way, it evens out.
Great.
So that was a 16 on the die for a 28.
The 28 hits. The frost vial pelts the Mulventalk and explodes, sending a spray of frost all over the place. What happened? What happens to me? I've never seen this before.
So that is 7 points of frost damage.
Okay.
Or a cold damage. And you now also take a minus 10-foot penalty to its speed until the end of next turn.
Nice.
And then another 2 points of splash damage.
Okay, so that is big. Because you've isolated the Mulventalk on the far southern side of this room, and you've frozen it to the ground. It's the T-1000 at the end of Terminator 2 trying to.
I just don't want it to explode on me.
Have you seen this boy?
I'm tired of things exploding on Trill.
Yeah, well, you know that this thing does explode, and you are in a potentially good situation now to, if you can keep it at distance, keep it from exploding. So I believe Trill has one more action.
Oh yeah, because I'm used to my action to my any attack being 2 actions for me.
Yeah.
So for Trill's third action, then when we're nervous, I guess that it's going to move before it explodes. She's going to raise her. She's going to cast shield.
Okay. So a shield of magic bursts out on top of Trill.
If it explodes near her, would that help? Or it wouldn't help because it's a saving throw, would it?
No, but if it tries to throw its Tom Shal chakram at you, it'll help. So.
Oh yeah, good call.
Still good. Okay. So Trill runs away, pelts this creature with a frost vial, and then apparates a shield, and it is now the beginning of round 5. Here's the situation. The Malventok is far to the south in this large circular chamber, and the rest of you are poised on the northern side. Will you be able to take this creature down? It is now Isthen's turn.
All right.
Come on, Isthen!
So
Get him!
he's gonna stride up, recharge his spell strike, and trip the Malventok.
Ooh, okay. Forgot you can do that. Because I was always doing it with assurance and it never worked.
You have knockdown. You can do it after an attack without any multiple attack penalty.
I can't. Oh, if I use knockdown.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh no! Oh no! That's a
fumble card because you fumbled hard.
No hero point for reroll on that.
Oh, this is a trip. You don't get a fumble card for this. But you do lose your balance and you fall prone as Isthen tries to trip the Malventok, gets all twisted and tangled up, and falls on his butt.
Classic Isthen.
yeah. I think I'm gonna use a hero point on that.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Worth it.
Ooh, much better. Is that a 15 on the die for a 33?
That's a critical success. The Malventok falls prone and takes a d6 of damage. How much damage is this Malventok taking?
Let's see. 2 damage.
Okay. This is pretty big time for the situation, though. You have slowed this thing down. You have knocked it over. It is not going to be able to get really anywhere past Isthen. Isthen is blocking pretty effectively. I'll throw a hero point at Armat for that.
I will totally take it. Thank you.
What goes around comes around.
On its turn, the Malventok is going to stand up, spending an action to stand up. Its speeds are reduced. It's not able to move very far at all, so it is essentially going to start playing defense. First thing it's going to do is whip the Tom Shal Chakram towards Isthen. That is a 7 on the die for a 20 to hit.
Ooh, misses.
That misses, and what that means then is that the Malventok is going to throw its arm up, pulling a shield right in front of its face.
Cool.
As it takes up a sturdy defensive position, just trying to withstand this momentary debilitation before it launches out with another more vicious strike. It is now Mag's turn to go. As the frost on the Malventok thaws off, and it is once more moving at full speed.
Well, if there was ever a time for a sudden charge, Lars, I think this is it.
And you do observe that this creature is within Isthen's reach, so you would be flanking with it if you were on the opposite side of it from Isthen.
Ooh.
Bingo.
Bingo,
So
bingo, babo.
Mag takes her newly not on the floor self and is going to sprint down to the far end of this room and take up a position on the opposite side as this assailant. 2 actions for a double move and the first melee strike, which is 33 to hit.
There she is. Mag's back.
A 33 to hit.
That's our girl.
If the Malvintok had not raised the shield, that would be a critical hit.
Oh.
If
still a hit.
Trill had cast inspiring courage.
How dare you?
Okay. Sorry. But yeah, a massive. That is an easy hit for Mag.
If I had used that action to retch away my frightened condition. No, okay. All right, here comes the damage. Kind of a piddly damage roll. That's only 11 damage.
11 damage. Still, as you chip away at this creature, at the Malvintok, pushing past the shield. It's going to take all that damage. It's not shield blocking.
Okay. Yeah, and I think Mag is, having been knocked unconscious and revived by this thing and its grisly tactics, she once again yells. It's not in rage because she can't rage, so it's just, sharp anger.
This is like in He-Man where Prince Adam is still like jacked beyond belief. You know what I mean? Like this dude is still mega strong. He's just not quite
Before
He-Man.
he calls down the power.
Before he calls down the power, right? Like he could beat the hell out of me. Like I don't stand a chance against this dude before he activates the power of Grayskull or whatever.
Right.
I feel like that's
Right.
what we're looking at right now.
Yeah. And it sounds something like, okay, here we go.
He-Man's famous catchphrase,
Wow.
That was nearly quite devastating, but the dice did not favor me. It's only a 5, so that's a 16 to hit, and I can't imagine that does it.
No. The Malvintok glances the blow off to the side with its shield and laughs in Mag's face. That's it, it says. These things are not... They don't have a way with words, necessarily.
Tactics, yes. Words, less so.
Yeah. And with that, it is now Ao's turn.
We don't know anything about kinds of damage this thing is weak to or anything, right?
You learned last week that it was weak to positive damage. But I don't think anybody has that on tap.
If I say it with a smile, will that help?
Act
You
positive.
fucker, please
I
die.
don't think so.
No.
Throw some holy water at it.
Do we have any holy water?
That's good
Might
damage.
be out of it.
Not positive
That's
damage.
good damage.
Oh, good and positive are different.
Good is
Of course,
we do
naturally.
have some in the bag of holding. We do.
And this thing is not frightened or it's no longer prone, so it's not flat-footed at the moment.
Correct.
All right. Ao briefly tries to create a diversion to see if she can get this thing flat-footed to her. Another ice bomb! Look behind you, she says, to see if she can get it to wing around.
Okay, let's get that check.
That is a 22.
Of course, we all know that create a diversion is versus. We all know
Everyone know. I could
Everybody
tell. I could
knows
fill in the end of this sentence myself.
that it's
but
versus
I'm gonna
perception
let-
DC.
Yeah.
So that unfortunately is not going to do it. The Malvintok stares at you, does not bite on your distraction.
I said there's an ice bomb behind you, she says, and she fires 2 arrows at it. She's just so frustrated right now. First one is a 31.
That hits. It gets around its shield and lands.
And that does 12 points of damage.
Okay. Chipping away at this creature.
Not just 1 ice bomb, but 2, she says, firing a
And it
second
says,
arrow.
"There's no ice bomb! What even is that?"
The next one's a 28 to hit.
Still hits. It goes around the other side of the shield, pelting it twice.
Nice.
An ice bomb is the pain you're fucking feeling, she says, for 11 more points of damage.
And the Malvintok is breathing heavily, holding on to consciousness, just like as it is still up.
Oof, 23 points of damage, and it's still going.
A failed diversion and 2 very carefully placed shots from chompers from Ao, and it is now Trill's turn.
For electric arc,
Yeah,
is not technically an attack roll, right?
correct.
So it's a save for them. I'm just
Correct.
trying to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So Trill's is going to go ahead and cast electric arc at this mofo. Because it's her, it's become a signature for her.
Yeah.
Is it just thanks Fidget? So that's so he's got to do a reflex save.
The Mulventalk dodges out of the way, makes a reflex save. It is a 28.
So that beats the DC of 25.
Okay, that means they take half damage.
So let's see what damage we're going to
How
throw
much
here.
damage are we talking
Come
about?
on,
here?
100 points of damage.
This is 15 points of damage. So it's going to be 7 that he takes, or is it rolls up? Does it roll up to 8?
7. Really, though, it's 3. Because
my
that's how
gosh.
many hit points the Mulventalk had. Which means that the Mulventalk starts breaking apart these various arrows. This electricity surge all over it. Cracks form all over the outside of it as it
Oh, this again.
It's gonna knock Mag out again.
explodes in a 20-foot radius.
Boo.
And that's why Trill's so far away.
This is a total of 26 points of damage heading
Limps,
to
please.
those who are in range of it, which is to say, Istin and Mag. Go ahead and please give me this reflex save.
Oh, man.
How'd you do?
4 on the die for a 14.
So that's a failure, meaning that Mag is going to take all 26 points of damage. How did Istin do?
Did okay. 13 on the die for a 27.
Okay, so you take half damage. David, is Mag still up?
She is. She's not been hit since the 37 points of damage came back from Trill, and I'm sorry, I'm doing this, tallying the math as we go here. I believe 26 is less than 37.
Okay.
I think you're good. Yeah.
That makes sense to me. And what that means, as this Mulventalk pelts you with its wave of negative energy, the bizarre magics keeping it alive, washing over you, you are now out of initiative.
Oh,
I picture like Trill as she lands at Electric Arc and she sees it start to go down, like starts jumping up and down cheering. And then there's this slow-mo response as the magic, that like kind of magic wave comes out of him. And she's like, oh no.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why she moved. Just to avoid this.
It's,
Cool, that felt good.
It's,
Yeah.
these things are tricky.
I guess we got some bodies to investigate now.
No, seriously, lay on hands, please.
I was going to say, Ao goes down
Someone
to
patch me up.
Yeah, I
To
see
the
Ao
mag.
already on her way.
Ao goes down to the Magistan area to begin applying gauze in an effort to get everyone back up to full health. And I believe I now have assurance in medicine, so we can kind of just say how long this takes.
I'd like to... Who knows if this is a safe place to heal up, so I'd like to sort of play these out moment by moment, if we could.
Well, so far we've only almost died in this area twice, so I don't see why there would be further...
You know,
Aren't there some
that
like
is
wisps
such a
hiding
good
around
point.
somewhere?
I had not really connected the dots on that. This is a dangerous area.
I remember we ran away from some wisps before as well.
How far away are we from the nearest staircase?
You're right next to it.
And that one goes down, I believe, though, right?
There's an
No.
up...
How
goes
far
up, it
away
goes
are
up.
we from the nearest staircase up?
You're right next to
It's
it.
right
The
there.
staircase down
We
is-
did this
is
last
the-
time, where we heard the wisps and we went up that staircase of
Yeah,
light.
like, would it be crazy to walk up the stairs and heal up just so nobody else fucking wanders through and the gug doesn't come popping out like, I thought I heard something drop. Was that glass shattering?
Hey, guys.
You're Avian here yet?
Yeah.
It's me, the gug.
So what do you want to do?
I think Ao does one quick treat wounds on Mag, right? Because she can do that basically instantaneously.
It's 10
And-
minutes, but yeah.
And I can do it on Mag and Istin at the same time.
Correct.
So,
So
that's,
how much healing are we looking at?
that's 19 points of healing.
Okay, so that's 10 minutes. You don't hear anything. What do you do next?
I'm fine to take this up the stairs or do another round and see if we hear anything.
Yeah, let's just head. If this is gonna take an hour or whatever, let's just pop on upstairs while we do that.
That sounds
All right, Mag, are you going to be able to walk up the stairs? Here, have some. And she reaches into Mag's pocket and pulls out whatever herb is there and just feeds it to her.
Oh well, actually, that's more for that's to boost concentration. Well, I guess I could just.
Here, chew it up.
Well, usually mix it with mint so that it doesn't taste quite so.
That's awesome.
Shh, you're tired.
Well,
As you have this conversation, you find yourselves up on that landing up on the 5th floor with the transparent glass wall looking out over the Hydra lake.
I would have said more injured than tired. Yeah.
And this seems like a relatively low traffic area to heal if you'd like to.
All right, so AO keeps on treating. Another 19 the next time. Mag needs, like 400 hit points restored?
Yeah, let's see.
160 something?
I'm still short 78.
And Trill, during all of this, Trill does not need any healing, so Trill's refocusing.
Great.
I think with those two, Istin is healed back up.
And Mag is, while being treated, enjoying one of her favorite pastimes, which is wiping blood off the Earthbreaker.
So we're going to hand wave it from there. 30 minutes past that time, Mag is fully healed up. You've got a safe place to heal. It's not a big deal. So at around 9:20 in the morning,
Man, it's
all
still
of you
early.
are ready to go. Mag is no longer wounded and no longer affected by the magic of Trill's soothe. What is next?
So as Trill's been playing her music as she's refocusing, trying to flavor soothe. As we're all kind of getting back, and Trill sees Mag starting to get better, and Trill's kind of noticing something in her pocket that she kind of got distracted away from. And Trill puts her loot on her back. It's like a whole satchel, not a satchel, but it's got a strap and everything, and wraps it around and reaches her hand in her pocket and pulls out the ruby of Lange.
And are you on the 5th floor now? Or sorry, are you on the 6th floor or are you on the 7th floor now?
I think we're still on the 6th floor.
Okay.
But Trill pulls it out and looks at it kind of carefully and looks back at the gang. Says, I think it's time. I think we need to go back down to that floor, and I think it's time to see if we can find the Motley Man.
The Motley Man?
I want to cut in a scene that happened this morning that we didn't talk about. Because the ruby went back to Doriana last night. So I'm imagining there's a scene where you passed on by the mayor's house and the mayor's like, here's your ruby, and just handed you the ruby as you're on the way out of town.
This is us smashing X through a bunch of cutscenes.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to try to locate the Motley Man using this ruby, you can spend 10 minutes. It will cast the locate spell, which will pull you in the direction that the Motley Man is. So where you cast this spell, where you focus on this ruby is of utmost importance.
So Trill looks around. What do you guys think? Are you guys ready? Should we go back down? Do we find this asshole? In the words of AO?
Absolutely.
Heck yes, AO says, somewhat subdued from her fighting state.
Thanks, AO.
Mag nods.
So I think we all go back down those stairs, back to that central room where we've left all these bodies.
Yeah. Yeah, you're stepping into this area very carefully. Every time you've gone in here, there's been something catching you off guard. So this is a tenuous location, but there's likely enough time to spend 10 minutes focusing on the ruby here.
Trill says, asks Mag, and I guess Istin to keep an eye out while she casts the locate spell.
Okay. You feel your mind getting pulled into the ruby. It's like you're holding onto the ruby, but about 5 minutes into focusing on it, it's like you're inside the ruby and you're seeing your own massive body holding onto the ruby.
I'm sorry, my massive body?
Yeah, because you're now ruby-sized and you're
Oh.
right? It's like you're aware of everything is warped and strange and large around you.
Cool.
As
I'm not used to feeling big.
it's like you're holding the ruby, but also it's like
Trippy.
you're the ruby itself. And 10 minutes later, you see your own body being pulled forward by the ruby, due south. It is pointing you in exactly this direction, pointing like directly south down the southern hallway extending out of this large circular room. I have a question for David. Mag has this history with Doriana, right?
Yeah.
Like Doriana was insulting to Mag at a certain point. You've spent a long time with Doriana now. What is going through Mag's head? How does Mag react? What's happening as you're getting this final tug down to the south to potentially free Doriana from this affliction?
Yeah, I don't think Mag is thinking about this in personal terms. There's something that needs to be done, and her lack of enthusiasm for the particular person here is adjacent to the role that she feels like she needs to play. I don't think she's enjoyed like the slumber parties as much as everyone else, maybe. I don't think Mag's teen years were super pleasant. I don't think she's a particularly patient babysitter. That's probably not her key. But she's been putting one foot in front of the other for this, the same way she is for everything else.
So Mag, ready to potentially risk her life for somebody that she has this distaste for. So, the party is pulled south by the ruby. The ruby is pointing very clearly. It's not pointing up. It's not pointing down. It is on this level, going towards the south. What do you do?
I mean, we got to go south, right?
Yeah.
Seems
I feel
right.
like Trill's kind of like
Ao
being
walks to
kind
the Gug's door
led.
to the east and knocks.
Should we head back to town?
Yeah.
of
And you see the Gug shotgunning a beer, doing a Gug chug.
Gug chug.
Chug. So Trill gets led towards the south of this hall
Yeah.
and sees that she hits a wall.
Yes.
Because there's a door to the east and a door to the west.
There's a door to the east and a door to
but
the
no door
west.
south.
No door south.
I think Trill would actually start looking for a secret door heading south.
And she does not find one.
There's no door here, so there's gotta be a path through one of these other two doors. Ao, which door should we take? You always know the right door.
Ao looks at her with just like a sort of deeply irritated expression. She says, clockwise, and points at the door to the east.
So you push through that door to the east, and you find yourselves in an enormous room. 30-foot high ceilings. Again,
Whoa.
the same kind of like red inscriptions, these strange diabolical writings all over the floor and ceiling and so on. This room has 15 transparent pillars in it. And each of those pillars has a bright light shining down into it.
Whoa.
Around the perimeter of this room, there's like a catwalk 10 feet above the ground. And there's no handrail or banister. This is just an open catwalk looking down at each of these 15 pillars. It seems as though there are creatures within these pillars, like they are
Oh.
There's some sort of like strange magical force holding prisoners in stasis. The first one that you walk into the room with, the first one that you like nearly walk straight into, that you see has a gug frozen in place.
Oh, fuck.
Under a light. You turn to the south, you see a gibbering mouther frozen in plate under the light. There are many, many other creatures that you can't really get a great view of here. However, upon entering this room, you see that catwalk that I told you about. If you scan around looking for doors, you only see one door leading off to the west, slightly south of where you entered this room. And I want to ask you, are you going to explore this room more fully, or are you going to go into that door, which is going to lead you closer to the direction that the ruby pulled you in? What do you think?
I think Trill's a little monomaniacal in the way Ao was before, and Trill's just going to say, this is fascinating, but we don't have time for this right now. And it's going to start walking towards that door.
Okay.
Mag would like to see if there are any other ways into or out of this room.
You don't see any.
So if we go in there to the south, the only way back out of there is through this. If these stasis fields get de-thawed, we'd have to go through all of this gallery, this arsenal, in order to get out.
And if you want to know more about how the stasis things work, you're going to have to spend a little time in here. So that's why I'm asking this question. Are we passing through? Do you want to know more about what's going on in this room, or are you following Trill into?
So a mag follows Trill and tries to stop her from moving fully through this without investigating. This just seems way too menacing. The battle preparer in mag is not keen to just pass by this without some sense of what could trigger these things opening or shutting.
Okay. So would you say that means like mag is like scouting basically?
Yeah, and going after Trill, trying to sort of catch up to Trill physically, tap her on the shoulder, grab her by the hand, throw her in the bag of holding, whatever it takes.
Okay. So Trill, with Mag following just behind, runs through this room filled with stasis chambers. This weird...
I just said I went to the door. I just go to the door. I don't go through anything yet.
Okay, well, I need to know. Are you going through the door, or are you staying in this room?
Well, that's the thing. So I think there's a moment now with Mag. So Mag's got to convince Trill to stay in this room.
Okay.
Trill, let's wait before you move closer and confront that thing. If whatever it is, whoever it is, has control over these creatures or what contains them.
No, I saw it. He's trapped in a room. He can't get out, but he can only get out mentally. He has no control over any of these. These are... that Gug was trapped in a room. They don't want any of these to come out, whoever's down here. We need to go through.
And Trill grabs the door handle and opens it.
So you have this quick back and forth conversation, and you push into the next room.
Oh, man.
Sorry, David.
No.
Trill's
listen,
pulling an AO.
That's all good. Follow the character. I'm here for it. I'm nervous, but
oh,
here
me
for
too.
it.
I'm terrified.
And the next room that you push into is very familiar to Trill.
Their childhood bedroom.
This room features a large map of the inner sea painted on the north wall, though the countries listed on the map seem like they're long out of date. There's a cushion resting in the room's southwest corner. On the west wall, overlapping scraps of paper create a much newer map of the town of Otari and the area around it. This is the room that Trill saw when she entered into the mind of the Motley Man.
I've been here before.
Really?
It was when I went in Doriana's mind. This is his room.
And stepping out of the shadow in the corner of the room, you see a familiar figure. It's a man dressed in multicolored clothes with a mask covering his face. He steps into the light and he says,
Please do not be afraid. There is nothing to fear.
and we will pick up from there next time.
Oh my God, that was awesome.
I just got chills. I got chills.
If he didn't want us to be afraid, he needs to work on the delivery. Roots of Ruin is a Tabletop Gold production produced under the Paizo Incorporated Community Use Policy, using trademarks and copyrights owned by Paizo that are covered under that policy. Paizo does not recognize, endorse, or sponsor this project in any way, and we are expressly prohibited from charging you to use or access this content. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. All original characters and content in the Roots of Ruin are the property of Tabletop Gold, and all rights are reserved. We at Tabletop Gold would love to hear from you. On our website, tabletopgold.com, you can learn more about us and our shows, pick up great merch, and connect to the best online community in all of podcasting. Thanks for listening.